What's up again, everybody? Today we have a super special video, and one that is, I guess, for the ages. This is going to be a momentous and historic video for the channel because we officially have a custom and an official DM ARMADA playmat, which is so cool. It looks so good. And I do have a limited print run that I can sell and give to people. So more info on that in the description as we go. But I want to talk you through the process that I went through and the thought process that I had leading up to deciding to officially custom commission a piece of art for the playmat, and the process on how it went and the revisions that were made, and just kind of everything and how it played out over the past, well, long time, a few months actually. I've been thinking about making a custom, official DM ARMADA playmat for a long time. I actually, a couple of years ago, I did make one. I made, I held this tournament. I ran a tournament, and I decided it would be fun to make a DM ARMADA playmat that I could give away to the winner of said tournament. And there's a picture on screen of that playmat. I think it was a really fun and fairly easy for me to make playmat. I just had it printed and sent over. I only did one, and I really liked it. It kind of matches, if you think about it, it kind of matches the card sleeves that I've had printed, it just, I don't know, I liked that design overall. It's kind of cool and abstract and easy to digest. But for this one, and I've been thinking, I thought about it a lot. For this one, I didn't want to do something abstract, and I knew that I personally didn't have the skills necessary to produce a custom piece of art to the level that I was kind of hoping for. I wanted something that was incredibly clean and professional and looked like it belonged in a, like a game like Flesh and Blood. And so I looked all over the internet. I looked at forums and websites. I looked at Instagram and DeviantArt, which is a real hit or miss thing. Don't click all the links on DeviantArt. That can get a little suspicious. I went to ArtStation and I just poured over the Flesh and Blood Art House Facebook page. Shout out to the Art House Facebook page and Instagram. They're fantastic. And I came across, I'd already known the artist existed. I came across Arif Wijaya, who did the art for Scar for a Scar, and I was looking at the just the entire profile that they had on Instagram. Just totally fell in love with the art style and with the care that is done to the figure, and just the detail work that they put into the characters that they've created. So I reached out, I sent a message, I was like, hey, would you at all be interested in doing custom art commissions? And if so, what's your price, what's your time frame, that sort of thing, how's the whole thing work through? They got back to me and they were like, yes, definitely. Here's the price, here's the time frame, that sort of thing. So I was like, Arif, let's do it. I will pay you. And I gave them a brief. And the brief said something like this: I want the design to be centered on a female pirate on a ship in the middle of the ocean, looking out into the distance, kind of off screen, if you will, or off playmat, and with a smile on their face, with a smile on her face, looking into the distance with this optimistic air to the entire thing. There's excitement, there's optimism, there's maybe some determination involved in it. And I just want this really kind of captivating scene of this character, of this figure, just standing in the sort of hero pose. But I left it at that because I really truly believe that if you give the artist some prompts and some ideas to run with, that they're going to take, they're the professional. They're going to take it into ways that you don't even know. And a little bit of leeway, in my opinion, is good for artists. And so this is what I got as a rough draft sketch. This is the rough draft, and I thought it was awesome. I hadn't thought about this pose before, of the hand on the hip, kind of standing near the rail of the steps perhaps of the ship. I hadn't thought of that at all, but seeing this, I was totally blown away. I was like, yes, I'll take that. That looks fantastic. There's a lot of things that I really liked about this. I loved like the charms hanging off the hilt of the sword. I had not even thought about the idea of like a pirate's hat, which is dumb because like, duh, pirate's hat. Hadn't even thought of that. Putting that on the railing was really cool. I loved the one pauldron and then the no pauldron and then like the half sleeve that's not a sleeve. Thought that was absolutely awesome. Weirdly enough, I actually very much liked the breeches, like the pants. I thought those looked awesome. And so for me, like when I approached and gave the brief, I was like, I want something that's like tastefully dressed, not like over the top, you know, like risque or anything like that, because I thought it'd be cool to have a character for the character's sake. And I absolutely thought it would nailed it out of the park. I asked for a few things. What did I ask for? I showed this to my wife, and I showed it to a couple of the people on the Discord server, and I asked for like ideas for what the thing that could be on like the railing, because right now it's like a pigeon, like a bird, right, like a seagull. But I was like, what if it was like in my head? What if it was like a monkey or like a meep? A meep is a character from Aria. That's like a little monkey that's also got like fox ears and it steals stuff. Like steals apples from people out of their bags at like the carnivals. And I thought that would be such a perfect tie-in to like Flesh and Blood. And so I posed the question, like, what should it be? And there were people that were literally like monkey, meep, dragon, like all of these cool ideas, but most of them said like monkey, and I was blown away that they thought the same thing. So I was like, maybe we try that. And then I also said, hey, what would it look like if we did like just a midriff tunic, and like had like a side portion of cloth on the side, so like there's a little bit of midriff. I thought that might be interesting as well. And so the next sort of piece of art that was sent was this with some revisions and some actually interesting things on here, like the addition of like a shoulder tattoo blew me away. Absolutely loved it. I thought that was so cool. Hadn't even thought of it before. Just the idea of that. The necklace addition is really neat. More charms added to the sword's hilt charm section. I actually preferred the pants the other way. These are more like chaps. So I was like, hey, can we put the pants back? I thought those looked really cool. And I didn't even think about the idea of gilding the pirate hat. And then the meep is just so perfect. So perfect. Eating the apple, it's like they stole that from someone. I mean, you have to, right? At this point. So absolutely loved the meep edition. So gave a couple more comments and feedback. I think the sword is really cool too. Like just the hilt and the scabbard, the way it kind of like slides out the side. Really cool. So this is what I got next. And this, you know, of course, obviously with color, just blows you away. It's like, honestly, you could take this and you could print this on a playmat. You could be like, look, this is the concept art version of the official DM Armada playmat. It'd be kind of fun to have this on a playmat too. But there's a lot of really cool things going on in this one. I personally love the touch of blue for the side tattoo and the red hair. Totally didn't even say that this character should have red hair. I just was like, I'm not gonna mention anything. I'm gonna see what they do. Red hair, boom, love it, absolutely love it. Didn't think about the background at all as well. Just a giant mountain in the back. That's super epic. And so I was like, yes, this is great. I love everything about what's going on here. Let's continue. And so at this point, it was moving from rough color to all the detail line work, all the detail work, you know, all the adjustment layers that you put over, you know, this piece of work as you're working. And this was delivered. And this is a really good one. From that to that. So cool looking. That is a cool transition. There were a couple things that did stick out to me though, like noticeably for me, the charms on the hilt of the sword are gone, and I was like, no, I need those charms back. They're too cool. I can't go without them. And then the tattoo shape changed as well, and I actually preferred this tattoo shape, like the strange backwards question mark, or maybe it's a forwards question mark thing going on. I actually preferred that. And so asked for that to be changed back, and the little charms on the sword to be changed. I love the pauldron. Look at the details on the pauldron with like the different gears and things almost. Super cool. Would never have thought of that myself. And again, goes back to like giving the artist the agency to do what they want to do. They're going to come up with really cool ideas, and I think that's exactly what we see here. And so after all is said and done, after the final few tweaks, we get what is perhaps the coolest looking of them all, the official DM ARMADA playmat art. This is the final version of the playmat art with everything, all the details put into it, and this is what I had hoped we'd see. This is like the idea that I wanted to get across. This is what I was so pumped to actually get onto paper, if you will. I guess more onto neoprene, because that's what you print a playmat on. And so I got this piece of art, and I immediately, like within a few minutes of receiving it, I immediately started to work on playmat zones, because I'm a sucker for playmat zones. I don't know if you guys like playmat zones or not. I love messing around with playmat zones and coming up with interesting playmat zones. And so the first thing I did, of course, was I applied the playmat zones, the official playmat zones for Flesh and Blood onto it. And this is normally what a playmat would look like with like the white border zones, where you just have white borders sitting on top of the piece of art that you put, and there's nothing wrong with this. Like, this is totally functional. You can print this out, you play it, you put the cards down. But for me, I love doing the technique that I'm about to show you on playmats, and maybe it's like a one-trick pony thing, but I totally love doing it. So here's what I like to do with playmats. Eventually, after you've played a game for so long, you know where all the zones are, you know where to put your cards. And so when it comes to like a good piece of art, my favorite thing to do is to take like the character that like is in the foreground, the character that matters, and you put them in front of the playmat zones. So you overlay them on top of the playmat zones, so they actually pop out of the image and past the zones. And that's what this looks like, where you take the character and you pull her forward, and you pull the meep forward in front of the playmat zones. And so it literally is like popping out of the image. So, when you're laying down your cards, of course, you're gonna lay your cards down on top of the art itself. But once you've taken those cards back off, this is just popping right out at you. And anyone that walks by that sees your playmat is like, holy crap, I gotta stop and I gotta take a look at this, because this is a fantastic piece of art. Everything about the art is accentuated when you have something like this. And for me, I just love seeing this, because I know where the zones go. And the zones are still represented there, but in this form, you can like really see the character, and you can really see what's going on. And that's what I love. And so this was like the basic zones, and I was like, yes, proof of concept, still looks good when you put the character on top of the zones. So then I got to work on making some custom zones. So I literally sat down and handmade in the computer these zones, and I think they look really cool. I tried to match the coloring on these zones and the texture to things like the hilt of the sword, or the bangle on the arm, or the pauldron, even though the pauldron's a little bit more orange. I tried to match this, make it a little bit more rustic, make it a little bit more, like piratey, and things are rusty and kind of textural, and they're not like smooth and perfect and shiny. And these zones look fantastic in person. They really do. I'll show you here in a minute what they look like in person. But as I was looking at this image, and I stared at it for a long time before I actually sent it off to print, I thought to myself, there's something kind of weird about this. Like, the middle of the art, the middle of the entire playmat, those zones pop a lot more, because there's a lot going on, right? There's the character, there's the meep, there's the sword, all that stuff's in front of the zones technically, but the zones are still so strong and prominent that you can really see them. And so I decided to mess around with it a little bit, and I put basically I made the middle more transparent and the outer edges more opaque, and it looks like that. So there it is, still present. You know where the middle zone is, but everything else around it pops more. And this is like, oh, I love it. I love it so much. This is, for me, the playmat. And so this is what I took, and I sent off to the printer to be printed. And let's take a look at what it looks like in person, because holy crap, it looks really good in person. So here is the playmat in all of its neoprene glory, looking absolutely fantastic. I love the way that the colors really just pop off. I love the way that the overlay can still be kind of seen and felt, but not necessarily just overtaking the characters. Because again, for me, it was all about the characters. It was all about the character Scarlet and her, companion, her, I guess, sailing buddy. And I just wanted them to just jump off of the playmat. By the way, it totally functions too, by the way. It like works perfectly if you're playing, like, for example, this is an Oldham deck. If you're playing a game of Flesh and Blood and you set everything out, this is the deck, by the way, it's just on my desk. This is the deck I played the most recent UPF in. So like if you're just sitting here, you're just jamming down a bunch of games and you're playing with your buddies. Let's draw a 4-card hand. And wow, that's a good 4-card hand. Holy moly, just play down some stuff right here. You can see everything like that. Really, you can see Scarlet, the character. You can see some interesting tidbits here and there, like the hilt kind of pops out whenever you don't have an arsenal, and then it disappears for a bit, and then it comes right back. Like if you take the rotten old buckler away, you literally have the entire figure like on display. It's like perfectly laid out so that the art is really accentuated in the best of ways, and I really love that about just the playmat design in general. This is kind of what I was hoping for, is that when you sit down with a playmat like this, people will look across and go, wow, that's a beautiful playmat. What's that character about? Who is that character? It looks like Scarlet could be a character from Flesh and Blood. Like, look, all I'm saying is if they ever make a pirate, like, she could be the pirate. I'm just saying, it would totally work. So I'm really happy because it just looks like it fits, It just looks like it totally fits in every way, shape, or form to the aesthetic of the game, to the way that just the characters look, and it's exactly what I was hoping for. So I'm really happy with this playmat. I have 50 of these playmats to sell. So if you want to own part of, like this 50 print run, this 50 playmat print run, if you want to be one owner of 50 for this playmat, you can pick up one of these playmats unless they're already sold out. If they're already sold out, then maybe I'll buy another batch. But as of right now, I'm only sticking to this 50, and then we'll go from there. Maybe I'll pick up more if more people are interested. Go down into the description, and there is more information on how to pick one up. The price for this is going to be $35. That includes shipping. So $35 shipped completely, end of story. If you are in the US, that is 100% what we're doing. If you're international and you want to pick this up, most likely we'll still stick to that price. I may have to tweak some numbers depending on where you are and that sort of thing. But we can just get together and talk about that together, because I want you to get the opportunity to have one of these if you want it. If you want to support this channel, this is a fantastic way to do it. Because you're going to get a sweet looking playmat out of it as well, and you'll be you're already part of the Armada. Let's be honest, you're already part of the Armada, but if you want to show people that you're part of the Armada, well, this is a good way to do it, because it literally says it right there and it's not gonna come off or go away. So I hope you guys really like this. I hope you like the character. I hope you like the playmat in general. I've been working on this a lot, and I was a little nervous showing it to you. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you do, leave a like and a subscribe and a comment and all that sort of stuff that people ask you to do on the old YouTubes. And as always, everybody, thanks for watching.